What's going on, y'all? It's Dime, and today we're going to be making a knife sheath, a belt sheath, for this Japanese stainless little paring knife that I had got from my mother not too long ago, and she wants a belt sheath for it for out in the garden, so that's what we're going to do today. Let's get to it. Alright, I already got my little prototype made up right here out of cardboard, my model. So we're going to be transferring it over to some leather. This is some 6 to 7 ounce leather scrap I got, some veg tan leather scrap I got on Amazon. It's going to work for the project. And then we're going to use a thicker piece of like some 10 ounce for the welt, for the stitching, so the knife doesn't cut through. And I got all these pieces cut out as well. This is my welt pre-cut, and, you know, the model cut out. And then my belt loop to go on the side of the knife. Let's get this thing transferred over. Alright, so now we can see how all this is fitting together. Our knife's going to go in right there. And this is all going to get wet molded and cut. So once this is wet molded and shaped, it'll fit this knife nice and tight. And then the belt loop will go on this side. And there we'll have it. Let's get this thing, we got to get the belt loop put on here first. And get the edges of it finished. And then we'll get it sewed on here, and then we'll glue this seam together, and then we'll punch the holes and stitch it all up, call it a project. Alright, we got that belt loop put on there. Now let's get this welt put in here. Get it glued in around the knife. We'll get it clamped and let that glue dry, and then we'll punch and stitch, and then we'll clean up the edge at the end. Alright, I got this edge roughed up and both edges of this roughed up for the glue to stick to easier. We're gonna coat this both sides in glue, and I'm just using Gorilla wood glue because it's what I got. You'd preferably use some barge cement or, you know, leatherworkers cement, but this works. And once all this glue dries, we're going to be wet molding this sheath a little bit more anyway, so it's alright if it's not exactly perfectly tight fit. Alright, got this all in clamps. I'm going to let it sit till it dries, and I'll get back to y'all in a minute. Alright, y'all. That glue dried up real good. Let's get these clamps off here. Now we got to get this punched and stitched, and then we'll cut this edge clean all at once so everything's nice and flush. Alright, let's see how this thing's fitting in here, and then I think we're also going to try and wet mold it a little bit to shape around this handle. So we're going to wet it right around here and kind of squeeze this down. Got some clamps. Alright, got that in the clamp. I'm going to let it sit for a minute. I'll get back to you in a second once that's dried a little bit. Alright, let's get these clamps off here. See what it's looking like. Wood roughed it up a little bit, so we're going to take our burnishing tool. See those little indentions that it left? We're going to take our burnishing tool and rub those off of there. It's not perfect, but it'll do its job pretty well, I think. Holds that knife in there secure. It isn't going to come out of there. So that's pretty good. Let me know what y'all thought of this project down in the comments below. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps me out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. I appreciate y'all very much for watching. Thank you, and until next time, this has been Dime.